So we are standing outside of the paddock area of the number 48 Carvana Honda for Chip Ganassi Racing, the driver Jimmie Johnson, and this has become the biggest story of this weekend thus far. In FP1, the only practice session today, Jimmie Johnson got into the wall, into the tire barrier, and didn't take his hands off of the steering wheel. And that has resulted in an injury that jeopardizes Jimmie Johnson's second attempt at the Long Beach Grand Prix. Here's the statement that he released on his social media accounts, and this is what he had to say about it.
Hey everybody, as you can see, I'm a little banged up here and have a splint on. First and foremost, apologies to the fans at the autograph session. I wasn't able to attend. Clearly got something else going on here. I'm on my way to be further evaluated just to get a good, honest look and understand what my options are. Really don't have any clarity at this point, and I look forward to updating you all very soon.
So obviously, this is going to put a bit of a damper on the weekend for a lot of folks. I mean, Jimmie Johnson's home is here in California. It's where he grew up, and certainly I've seen a lot of fans, and there are so many fans here at Long Beach who were looking to see Jimmie Johnson, and right now I truly believe that's in jeopardy. The good news is it seems like Chip Ganassi has a lot of options should he need them. We'll talk about them later in the IMSA portion of this video. So let's take a look at the top 5 today at Long Beach in FP1. And it's Simon Pagenaud leading a very, very quick session. They're already in the 107 range, and they haven't even put on the red tires yet. Very grippy track, they said in the post-practice press conference. Alexander Rossi, he used to be the king of the beach around here, and he may be finding that swagger once again, assuming the cartoon anvil doesn't hit him on the head. Scotty McLaughlin, man, that guy has just turned it on to another level this year. Joseph Newgarden, you got to remember, that guy finished second here last year. And Marcus Ericsson, I need to give him more credit because he's been having a hell of a season. I think, honestly, looking at his results and looking at how he's done this season, he very well could be a championship contender towards the end of the season. And you're going to hear some drift cars in the background. They sound fantastic. There have been so many great sounding cars here this weekend. My personal favorite is the Mazda, the GTP version of that. I think it's the 797, I think is the designation. Fantastic sounding four-rotor Wankel Mazda engine. So before we get into IMSA, we got to talk to IndyCar drivers in the bullpen today, and Team Penske finally showed up. So enjoy the first interviews on this channel, I believe, with Will Power, Joseph Newgarden, and of course, Scott McLaughlin, and many other drivers. I think you'll enjoy these. Former winner here at Long Beach, you have so much experience here. What is the key to going fast around this circuit?
Man, it's always very close here. It's amazing with this many corners and really a difficult track because you're surrounded by walls and how close the whole field is. But yeah, you gotta have a good car, but it's all about threading the needle through those walls and taking enough. You're really on the limit. If you step over it, you hit the wall. So, like everything in life, to be extremely good, just like walking a tightrope.
We had a good opportunity last year, really, really good chance. Colton just, beat us out on the strategy slightly, but he was fast all weekend. He was starting at a deficit, which gave us a bit of a head start during the race, and then he just ended up capitalizing on, in my opinion, a better strategy tire-wise, going red, red, black versus red, black, red. So in that middle stint last year where we had to save fuel, he took advantage of the red tire as it got past us. If we can avoid a situation like that again and put the car on pole, then we'll have an opportunity to win here.
I guess it's always that's a tough question. I think I would have said going into St. Pete we were pretty confident, and then I think we hit practice 1 and all of us were outside the top 17. So last year was good here. I think I was 3rd, and I think Alex was 4th. Marcus he was on the wall, but Jimmy had a late race pass that was really good as well. So I don't know, I feel more confident going here just because we don't think there was a tire change like there was at St. Pete. So we should fare a little bit better.
Yeah, it was great. Getting the championship here made this place really special for me. It was still the first time that we raced at Long Beach in an IndyCar or in any other cars. But yeah, we had good cars. I think we didn't had to win last year. We could have, I think, risking a bit with strategies and some overtakes, but we didn't need to. So we just want to make sure that the car is still as strong or even stronger than last year, and just be more comfortable with the car and the track. So yeah, it would be super nice to get a win here. It would make Long Beach for me even more special.
You've been the hottest driver this year. You got first at St. Pete, and you were about a couple inches away from getting number 2 at Texas. What has changed this year?
Look, I don't know. I think it's just happened. I took a lot of pressure off myself, I guess, towards the end of last season. And end of last season, I felt like I clicked with the car a bit more, and knew coming into St. Petersburg that we were going to have a pretty strong package. But how strong it was it was a lot more than I thought. But very proud. And then you obviously have the momentum after that. And going to Texas, I knew we had tested there, and I knew we had a fast car, so it was about putting it together. And we qualified well, and felt like we raced pretty well. Yeah, we just missed it, but I was really proud of how dominant we were there, and it taught me a lot for Indy coming up. Just fuel saving, putting myself in position when I need to. It helped a lot there. So I'm excited for the month of May, and then Long Beach this weekend, second time here. It's going to help. It's just being acclimated to the place a lot better, and we'll see what we got.
I've been asking all the drivers about this, and it seems like there's been a big change with Team Penske with the tire compounds, red and black tires, new compounds this year. Has that been the key to your speed on the street circuits, or has it been just a total package change?
No, I think total package, a little bit more of a philosophy change. Although Joseph's doing one thing and Will's doing another, and then I'm doing another, and it's sort of you all come together, and you've actually got a pretty decent package, right? So we're testing the limits in every way, and that's the only way we're going to move forward if we try something different and come together and hopefully build a pretty good, strong package. And felt like we did that over the testing over the winter, and then coming to Sebring, we tested there, and it felt pretty good. St. Pete was good, and then you come here this weekend. I think we're going to be hopefully there or thereabouts. But I wouldn't say the compounds changed that much for us. Like, it is different. It is a different tire. I probably prefer the red tire, how it comes on faster. It reminds me of my supercar days where you only had one lap to sort of do it. So it puts a lot of pressure on a lot of people. So you just got one lap and you get it done. So I enjoy that, but hopefully we can do it again this weekend.
Not that much, actually. I think like the one lap grip is kind of the same, but then the drop off is way more dramatic on the reds. So Firestone kind of focused on a bigger contrast between reds and blacks, because some races we preferred running reds all the time because they were actually pretty good in the long run.
That actually did add to it. Yes, it certainly went more our direction, what those tyres did to the car. But we also did some good development in the off-season, and also Chevy made an improvement. So multiple improvements have moved us up the grid.
I don't know if it's hurt them more, but I think we've made gains on our car regardless. Even if we were running last year's tire, I'd feel really confident about what we've done with our race cars to take them forward from last year to this year. I think it's more of us just gaining and maybe Andretti, losing slightly on the tire compound. I don't know if that's 100% the case or not. For me, the tire is not the big difference for what's going on with us. We've made a lot of chassis changes, and they've seemed to be in the good direction. So whether it was last year's tires or this year's tire, I think I'd feel good either way, to be honest.
It's always difficult because you don't get to test. So, your first test session really, and each track is so unique. Gone are the days where you had several different types of street course tires or road course tires. Now they're all the same, so they try to cover, the majority of the, different surfaces that we go to. It's quite a balance shift, but, I guess it's the same for everybody. It's just whether you've done your homework and know which direction that you need to be going. So, St. Pete, I don't think we did that super well.
I have no idea. So it's so hard. Like St. Pete, we felt like we were really bad at the beginning, but then on the race, we felt like it was really good for us. Like some teams or some drivers couldn't make it into stops and they had to pit one more time. So who knows what's going to happen here? It changes every weekend. We have no idea. And we will not see until race time, because I think St. Pete, everybody was after warm-up saying that the Reds were not going to last, and then they lasted. So I don't know. I hope that it fits our car and our driving style.
And we saw in St. Pete that it really seems like the red tire's a one-lap hero. To get on pole or even get in that first 3 rows so you're not stuck in the hairpin there on the start, I mean, what is it going to take in qualifying? Do you have to lay it all on the line?
It was a shocker in St. Pete. I didn't get a good feel in practice too that it was going to be one lap. One lap was critical on the reds. That's absolutely the case now with this new tire. Like they're on immediately, and you have to maximize that first lap. Maybe get a second, but you're still compromised a little bit from lap 1 to 2. You've got to be clear out of the pits. You got to get temp, and lap 1's going to be critical. So I think whoever can maximize that is probably going to have the best shot of putting the car in pole.
How do you maximize that lap around a track like this one?
You got to send it.
Now, obviously, Long Beach is not just known for Indy cars. This is a great event that's so diverse in motorsport. And the other main event, which will be happening tomorrow, is the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. Now, unlike our first 2 rounds of coverage at Daytona and Sebring, there are only 3 classes. LMP3 and LMP2 have been cut from the roster this weekend. They'll be back later on in this season. It's just DPI and GTD Pro and GTD AM. Now, let's take a look at the pole sitters because they had qualifying today for, obviously, the race tomorrow. Lots of practice as well, way more practice than IndyCar had. Sebastian Bourdais on pole in DPI, a track record 2 seconds faster than the previous IMSA track record. And in fact, had Bourdais rolled out that DPI for IndyCar practice, he would have been 23rd overall. Just unbelievable speed from Sebastian Bourdais. Corvette on the pole in GTD Pro, picking up where they left off at Sebring, even though they've had some BOP taking away some of their performance. You wouldn't know it from the pole run of Jordan Taylor. And then the Paul Miller BMW in GTD AM. Paul Miller debuted at Sebring rather than Daytona, and it seems they've already found pace. And it should be noted that the RLL BMW, there's only one of those for the rest of the season, was 2nd in GTD Pro. And then the AM cars were 5th and 6th overall. That was Paul Miller from I want to say Liquid Molly car. I can't remember. Turner. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. From the Turner car in the 6th spot overall in GTD AM. So here's the immediate question, because I think we see, these wrist injuries so much usually take a while to heal. Though it's not like a season-ending injury, certainly for Jimmie Johnson. And again, we don't know and probably won't know until tomorrow morning exactly what it is. But if he's in a splint and he's with a cast, I have a feeling that they're going to err on the side of caution. So that says to me that the 48 will probably have a different driver this weekend. Who is that going to be? Well, I think you should look no further than Sebastian Bourdais. If you just saw or watched on TV what just happened with Sebastian Bourdais' just absolutely insane pole lap in the DPI, again, fast enough to pretty comfortably be in the IndyCar field, I just wonder if you put him in the 48 for this weekend. Obviously, it's a situation that no one, likes, but it seems like more. The closer we get or the further away we get, it's going to be a necessary one this weekend and probably a necessary call to make. I would think that Sebastian Bourdais would be the prime candidate to put in that car. But again, we could be totally surprised and maybe Kevin Magnussen shows up tomorrow morning and, flies in from Australia, because that would happen. It's an exciting, it's not exciting, but it's certainly something to speculate about. And I'm sure we'll know tomorrow, if not later this evening. I keep forgetting that, on the East Coast, this video is going to be going out at like midnight, and here it's still sunny. The time zones are very weird, but I think by tomorrow morning, West Coast time, we'll have an update, and I have a suspicion that Jimmie Johnson will not be in the 48 the rest of the weekend, but we'll have to see. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube. Subscribe for more motorsport content and certainly full coverage of the Long Beach Grand Prix. And if anything breaks with Jimmie Johnson, we'll be on top of it. So subscribe when it comes.